'cause all that they serve you are opinionated views. Don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in war, all the reasons why they're for. Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history, they say, holding the saints. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what you deserve. It's all round bad judges and Lucifer they serve. Don't believe banks are honest, they fleece you to the bone. And when there's nothing left to get, they'll even take you home. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 All that they serve you are opinionated view. I don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 I believe the truth will set you free.
Yeah, I'm Laura Brooker.
And so you've been into this quite a while then, have you?
It's about my 2-year anniversary actually.
10 years?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
2
Right.
years anniversary. Yeah, so...
I've been really encouraged to come today to seeing so many people who are just so grounded and so...
it's lovely, isn't it? The atmosphere around camp.
It's very positive and calming. And,
yeah, I never expected them to be quite as successful as they are. We actually did our first meet a year ago. on the 24th of June, and we recreated the Bidford level experiments. And there was probably we did like a weekends camping. The Friday night there was only about 12 of us and that, but I thought that was pretty good, to be honest, you know.
Yeah, for a first time.
Yeah, exactly. But then on the actual day of doing the experiment, there was about 50 of us kind of that all met at a pub, and then we went on to the canals and did the experiment, and it was really good fun. And camp was amazing. I mean, I love camping anyway, but the kind of people you were mixing with were just on your level, you know. There's no ridicule from anyone for your beliefs or understanding of the world.
I'm sure I'm repeating myself, but it's people just finishing off each other's sentences and nodding.
And understanding, exactly, yeah.
And having affinity to what you're going through and where you are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, finding Flat Earth is such a defining moment for a lot of people. You know, it can sort of really draw the line in the sand for them. You know, they're prepared to be ridiculed and to go against family and lose friends. It becomes more important than a lot of things, and you can't really understand it, I guess, or explain it. You might understand it internally, but to explain it to other people, it's really hard. So, for me, setting up these meets and connecting people was really important, because it can be very lonely for some people.
Yeah.
You know, they're so isolated. I'm lucky, I've got quite a lot of friends that live locally that are all on board with Flat Earth, so I've had some friends from the beginning, you know, so I was never alone, but I know a lot of people were.
I'm Petra, I've come from South Wales to this wonderful part of Scotland. We've had a very windy weekend. We're with the Flat Earth UK group. It's been lots of fun. We're all a bit tired now, Sunday morning. Probably looking forward to getting home and having a wash. Unfortunately our balloon launch didn't happen, but from where we can see around here, everything's incredibly level.
Stunningly level, isn't it?
Stunningly level.
What's the name of your channel?
The YouTube channel is RDJ Custom Dioramas. Got a Facebook page as well, same thing. And this is the first of our Flat Earth dioramas that we've made, but we cater for anything really. We've done restaurants, barbershops, and it's just a small scale replica of anything that you're looking for, really. Can't buy it in shops, so I originally was looking for, as a toy collector, I was looking for a background for one of my action figures. Couldn't find it, so I decided to make it for myself, and then I posted it online. People wanted the same thing, and my missus just told me, get out there and start making them, and that's how I started. And then I knew someone was going to end up asking for one of these, and yeah, made one, and as I posted progress shots, another one was ordered, and yeah, first of many.
Excellent.
My name's Andy Wild.
And are you wild, Andy, or is it just by name?
Well, this is the thing. Apparently I'm living up to being a bit wild now. Although I have to quote to say, one of my very early school teachers gave me a quote when I had an autograph when I left Scotland. I was 9 years old, and it was wild by name, mild by nature. And I thought that was a lovely thing to. I was only about 8, I think. I think I've lived up to it since then, becoming a bit more wilder. Sorry, John, I'm waffling, mate.
Not at all, not at all. So what first got you into this then?
Into Flat Earth?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's story though, isn't it? Everybody's story is like, you listen to them, you see, when was the first time you found out? The first time I kind of researched it a bit with all the other conspiracies you've thrown out on YouTube, and there's so many now. They all lead you down different paths and wormholes. And then I heard kind of about this one, told me mate Craig about it, and we ended up going up to try to do kiting up at Hoy Lake, parakarting, and the wind was too windy, it was a terrible day, and we ended up literally spending the day sitting in the van trying to work out what to do. Had a bit of a chat about stuff, and I told him, I said, look, I've been looking into this latest thing about Flat Earth, and straight away we were laughing about it, and then we realised we were on the literally beachfront of Hoy Lake, binoculars, and like we were reading these things on YouTube saying you just go to the ship like and look at views and look at ships going out of the horizon. So we got to the beach and we're looking at these ships on the horizon, seeing them literally come back in, and we're looking at each other thinking, No, it can't be, man. It can't be flat, man. That's purely just because you're seeing more because you've got magnification. And then sure enough, you go back online, you look at something else, and then you see something else about moonlight, sunlight, different temperatures, and you've got simple things you can test yourself with thermal cameras now, innit? Cheap thermal camera. This reminds you, see, the difference was like half a degree in moon between shadow and moon shadow and shadow. It's literally like 1 degree or half a degree warmer in the shade than what it is actually in moonlight, opposite to the sun. You sit there thinking, well, they're saying if the sun reflects the light off the moon, it should be the same type of light.
Aye.
But then of course they'll come back and say, that's because this, because that. But I'm waffling, but we spent the best part of the day that weekend in the van trying to research as much because we couldn't go kiting, laughing our heads off, thinking where we were, what do you call it, scenario, or the actual situation. And that was about a year and a half. And then of course I've kind of gone online, found out more, got on this group, and then find the posts of other people posting, and it makes you feel so connected when you start finding out from other people. And it's like getting aside from that, the type of people that you're meeting, so open-minded people,
grounded.
Yeah, but about everything you want to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about the flat earth, it's about all these other things you find out about, you know, vaccines, food, fasting, perpetual motion. The list is endless, man, you know, and you learn about it all and you sit there thinking, it all goes up to the Illuminati, it all goes up to the bankers, been going for 100 years. Yeah, all this happening, I think, is there's a mass awakening along people.
And what impressed me about being here is that everybody's finishing off each other's sentences.
Yes, because they relate to it. Because every curfew you ask about a story, well, how did you find out? They'll say, well, actually, some guy was saying he just graduated on me. No, it was just about to go into an exam. Is somebody here? It'd be great if you could interview him. I heard him last night. He was saying he's been taking his exams. He was just about to go in for his last exam. He was at university or something. He found out about this, about flat earth or something, and it made him think twice before he went into the exam. And I can't remember the end story, whether he did really well or he just said, do you know what? I don't give a about it anymore, because at the end of the day, this is more interesting what I've discovered.
Yeah, my name's Annie, and I'm a mother. And I don't believe this false reality that they have us living in, you know, this construct that we live on a spinning ball hurtling through space at thousands and thousands of miles an hour, but we never feel any of those motions, and they've never been detected, but we're supposed to just accept it, and I think it's cruel. Yeah,
without any evidence, eh?
Yeah.
So when did you first come to that realisation?
Well, it was quite a while ago. I discovered that maps don't have to be a true representation of the landmass.
Yeah.
And that was like a big thing for me, because of all the things that I never believed in, I did think that maps were real, you know. So.
And accurate.
Yeah. When I found that to be the case, then it just kind of blew my mind open, because I was like, what else are they lying about? Why would they even lie about that anyway? Why would it be a thing? And so I was looking for, like, what's the true shape of the earth, you know, and I had a feeling that it wasn't a ball. It's just like a feeling, you know, because it doesn't fit. Nothing fits when you're spinning through space at stupid speeds.
You had a sniff of bullshit in there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You think the Earth's round?
Yeah, I've come here thinking the Earth's round.
Is this your first time to this sort of meet?
Yeah, I've got what a friend of mine that said about the flat Earth.
Right.
I kind of ridiculed him.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are going to do when somebody says, I've heard about the flat Earth.
And who's that? Who's your friend?
Andy.
Oh, yeah.
I've known him a year, and then we discussed this, last year. Yeah, last year we were discussing it, and I'm saying, but Andy, there's this. I gave him all the things I could think of what I've been taught about the Earth being round, from being what, 7 years, probably 7 or 8 year old, I remember looking at a globe, going into a classroom, asking a teacher, what's that? That's the Earth. That's the Earth, and this is where we are. This is England, and showing me on the map, on the globe for England. And so, from an early age, if it is the biggest conspiracy ever, which it could possibly be, I'm here to find out. You've got to have an open mind, I think, with things, and so I've come along to see what people are saying about the flat Earth. And I'm going to do some more research myself. I'm going to go online, look at a few websites and things, and research it a little bit more after this, because these people, their mind is totally made up. That they've no question for them. Of all the people I spoke to yesterday evening round a fire, 15 odd people are saying and giving me the similar sort of feedback as each other. Some of them believe there's a dome over the flat Earth. There is no space. There's other realities. There's all sorts of things tied in with what people, but generally they're all saying it's flat. It's a massive, massive conspiracy. And if they're right, it is. And there's going to be a lot of people annoyed if it ever becomes fact that it is flat.
And what's your impression? What's your impression of these people? Do you think they're crazy people, or do you think they're?
No, they're not crazy.
No. So you're thinking, right, they're not crazy. Do you think they're reasonable people?
Oh yeah. The sanity for me is not in question here.
Do you think they're quite intelligent people?
Well, there's a lot of intelligent people here. Yeah. I mean, talking aside of Earth and everything else, other topics of conversation I've had with them, yeah, there's nothing. Their sanity's not in question for me.
So at least you're not going to go away thinking they're a bunch of crazies.
Exactly. No. I'm on the fence with this.
Right.
I am with it. But I want to research. You need to research. You've got to do your own research.
Absolutely, and you shouldn't believe anybody.
But this is why I've always instilled in my own children question everything.
Yeah.
Question everything.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
take it at face value, especially today with the internet. You can't really just look at something on there and go, "Oh yeah, that'll be right. I've googled it." Dig deeper.
Yeah.
Dig deep.
So, what got you into the flat Earth then?
Just seeing posts on the Facebook, actually, thinking, why people keep talking about the flat Earth, and then what? Always curious. I was like, okay, I need to have a look now, because it's like again and again and again.
And what was your initial feeling when you first came across it?
It was, well, it wouldn't have surprised me, because knowing all the other deceptions that there are and the control that's put upon us on this plane, or this planet at the time, that it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually pieces together all the things like passport control, the bureaucracy with the governments, the wars, the travel, because I live in a van, and travellers have a lot of problems with the authorities, and they don't like you travelling on Earth. And if you want to go somewhere, you've got to ask permission. And so then when it came across flat Earth, it made so much sense that for me, it's there's more land out there, so.
Yeah, it's a logical step on from that, isn't it? That they're restricting us.
Yeah.
From finding further land. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, they kind of like conquered the Americas and they found Australia, and then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no more land, So all at the same time, when you've got this big Catholic Church just putting its boot down, and making everybody conform in whichever way they want, and then they've got the conquistadors conquering land, and it's all about the land. It's all about land and property. People say it's about money, but it's more land, because money's kind of like a fluid thing, whereas land is a stable thing. And also when you realise that this ball that you picture of Earth, that you see in the classrooms, on TV and all that, when you actually realise that ball, you've never actually seen this ball at all. All you've seen is a globe that you can spin. So it's my phone. And then I started thinking. I saw this little video about from I think Matt Boylan or someone like that, and he had the photo or painting thing.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
And that I think it was then when I saw that video of him doing this talk and sitting on stage smoking his fag. Is it a photo or is it a painting? It was like, oh my god, yeah, he's spot on, eh? And then I started analysing, because I like to analyse things. I started analysing all the pictures of the Earth, and I realised, man, we've never even seen a ball, you know. And even the moon, when you see the moon in the sky, it's not a ball we're seeing, you know. It's a flat disc. You can do that on a painting. You can paint shadows. You can do it for a photo, you know. So we don't even know if that's a ball or not. We're just assuming it's a ball, because we've been told.
Came from
Aaron Neild from Bolton, England.
So, what first got you into flat Earth and Aaron?
I think it's like one of the last conspiracies that you come across at the bottom of the rabbit hole, so to speak, and it's just one that you seem to avoid, and then inevitably you got to come across it, and it pieces everything together really nicely once you get your head round it.
What was the main thing that probably influenced you into realising that you don't live in a spinning ball?
I don't know, it took a lot of convincing, because you can't just take one piece away and think, oh, that's evidence. You've got to take a lot of pieces and deconstruct it all, and then build your own model up so you can contradict it, and it's got to make sense as well. It's just putting it all together, which takes time, and I don't know, you got to do it on yourself. People can tell you, but you got to understand it for yourself, so you got to invest the time into it.
And some people are saying it was life changing. Was it life changing for you?
Yeah. I felt like it cleared a lot of information, because you can decipher what's rubbish and what makes sense, and there's a lot of rubbish out there, distractions, disinformation, so it clears it up, lets you focus more on what's important.
When was it you first got into flat Earth, Lee?
It wasn't that long ago actually. I've only been a flat earther for what, about 2 months probably.
2 months?
Yeah.
So it's just like the town down the road, you're a newbie?
Yeah, I'm a newbie, but to be honest with you, you know, I always questioned everything. I was not one of them people that was just, you know, follow the masses and the sheep, do you know what I mean? I like to think outside of the box. Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean it has to be true, do you know what I mean? Just because someone says, oh, you know, this is that, and you know.
It's great to see different ranges of responses and the variety and the variety of length of time, and I think that's the shortest period of time I met somebody, and it was 2 months. That's quite an awesome journey you're going through then.
But to be honest, like, even though it's been 2 months, I've done so much research in all sorts of things, not just flat Earth, do you know what I mean? I'm looking at all sorts of things that's going on, and my eyes are open to a lot. But I feel like I've learnt quite a bit, because I'm around a guy like Alan. He's got his own group and that, and you know, he lives with my brother, so like I'm always around my brothers, and he's like, oh yeah, he's always going on about it, and you know, and I've got a couple of other friends that are flat earthers as well, and he always used to say to me, it's because the Earth's flat, and then, you know, when you just think about it, and you start, oh, I'll just check that up, and then when you get more into it, you get deeper into it, and you start thinking, you question it, and some of the stuff that you used to look at then you was a kid, then you look at now of knowing, you know,
new
just
eyes.
check it out and with new eyes, and you think, actually, yeah, do you know what? How did I never notice that?
Right, my name's Alan Chalmers. I'm 32-year-old from Peterborough. I used to stay in Scotland, obviously with a Scottish accent, but I just know it's flat because it's right in front of you. All you need to do is open your eyes and you'll see it. That's it.
Matthew Siddon. I'm from Wolverhampton, West Midlands, and yeah, the Earth is flat.
What first got you into it then?
Truthfully, it was a recommended for you video on YouTube. I was probably looking into something else with the elites, you know, New World Order, looking for something from 9/11 or something. I can't quite remember, but it came up recommended for you, and it said scientists vote that the Earth is flat. So obviously it caught my attention straight away, and I clicked onto the video and started watching it. It was by a person called Dan Flynn. He must have chopped and screwed a few videos and put them together. And yeah, I just started watching that video, and something kind of hit me when I was watching that video. Obviously something made sense and something showed me that something didn't make sense. So I was curious, because I'm a curious person, and obviously I want to know what my surroundings is. And at first it didn't really bother me, entertain me, but something in that video triggered it. So then I started researching, started looking into it deeper, going by the mathematics that we're told what it is. I'm not going to go into it, but you know, whatever it's supposed to be. I started looking for it with cameras, telescopes, and nothing matched to and nothing what they said it was at all. And then obviously, yeah, just looked into it a bit more, like, obviously.
What first got you into it now?
First of all, my mate posted something on Facebook, and it was just like something to do with flat earth, and I thought it was like a load of rubbish, and I looked into it. I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong, oh, this is wrong. And I just searched for days and days looking for evidence saying what we live in a ball from space or anything like that, but there was just no real photos. It was just so hard to find it, and it was that whenever I started looking into it, then I went onto Facebook, and it was just nothing at all. It was just no proof, like, to prove what everything I've been taught was just all just made up, basically. Like, there's been no hard evidence to prove any of that stuff. Like, you can go out and test it yourself, like go to the beach, shit like that. It just doesn't add up.
Especially with the pictures of the Earth as well. Also, obviously we're told that the composite images, and then you look into that even a little bit more, and you know, you find out that they're actually photoshopped, and NASA ain't even scared no more. They'll openly confess and tell you that they are, by the actual people that are doing it. Like, is it Robert Simmons? Yeah, even he. Bet the Blue Marble too. Openly confessed, yeah, it's Photoshop, but it has to be.
Do you think they say that because they've got the confidence that people don't care anymore?
And they're just putting it right in your face. Yeah. It's like a lot of stuff, like that, The Simpsons and that, they've predicted a lot of stuff recently. Like, but
exactly
happened like 10 years ago. Yeah. They knew exactly with the Trump thing coming down the escalator.
Yeah, even the banner.
Like, yeah, everything was the exact same. It was just too, like, in your face. Like, they're putting it in front of you saying, oh, this is just a joke sort of thing, like showing you it but not showing you it. You know, so like, if it does eventually come out, they can say, oh, we told you about this a long time ago, but you just didn't choose to accept it.
My name's Graham Bosworth, that's my name.
And where did you come up from, Graham?
Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire.
Oh, yeah. So when was it, why did you first get into flat earth?
I was actually looking at something else, looking about common law, and I stumbled across a video called The Greatest Lie Ever Told by Dave Murphy, allegedly Dave, and I actually stumbled across the second half of a two-part video about the space shuttle, and I watched it with interest, and I thought, what? As I was watching it, I was looking elsewhere, cross-referencing everything that was said on this video, going off on tangents. I watched the whole lot, and I'm thinking, that's just like incredible, blew my mind. I've researched other stuff, like flight paths, planes, which doesn't make sense if the Earth is a ball. But on a flat Earth, they all fly in straight lines. You can see that on Flight Radar 24, for Flight Tracker 24, it's an app, or on your computer. Satellites, I've always wondered about them with your phone. It doesn't make sense. You know, I've started using my brain, started thinking outside the box, using common sense, which is a rare thing these days. I mean, I don't watch television.
You're a dangerous man.
Oh yes, good grief. I've lost a lot of friends since, you know, I've learned a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've got 3 daughters, Eleanor, Grace and Trinity. Eleanor's 12. And I told my kids that, you know, don't believe everything they teach you at school. You know, the Earth is flat. Research it, check it out. You know, you'll find ways when you're older. But they've actually taken time themselves as children to look at it, go on the internet, research their own stuff, They're even telling me about the Twin Towers now, the truth about that.
Tony Skies.
Tony Skies, that's an unusual name, eh? Skies?
Yes.
And when did you come into Flat Earth then, Tony?
Well, I was researching moon hoax and NASA and stuff like that, just looking into all stuff like that, and then in 2014, and then noticed a couple of Flat Earth videos and stuff. And
do you remember which ones there were? Or?
There's one about this. There was this religious guy in Iran discussing with a scientist in Iran, having like a biblical science thing, and kind of sparked a few things off. But then there was a few other videos started coming up towards Christmas, and then 2015 kicked in, and just a few things sparked off the subconscious, like kind of thing. You're looking into Flat Earth, and it's sort of like that's not quite right there, and it's like kind of like re-triggered subconscious memories of, oh yeah, I saw them hills from 100 miles away, and but didn't click at the time, and then it's sort of sparking back memories, putting things into place, and it sort of starting to unclog the cog disco dance, dissonance, disco dance.
That's quite a good term, actually.
Cognitive disco dance. Yeah, and it made your soul dance.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. But isn't it amazing that those things don't make us click at the time?
Yeah, and because you're taught from early age, aren't you? That, and it when you suppress creativity and imagination at school, it kind of closes that off from opening up and questioning things.
Yeah.
So you don't. So the mind doesn't let you do it.
No,
kind of
but you would have had a couple of questions like, how don't you fall off and how does water stay on? But then you're shot down by authority, say it's gravity, even though we're not old enough to understand what gravity is, or critical thinking is not developed.
Yeah.
So we ignore our own senses and our own critical thinking and adopt authority.
Yeah.
I think from then that's a suppression of our own thinking, and that's why we don't see it later on, because we're
never really thought about it too much with the gravity. It's just you just think I just look at it simpler. That
well, speaking to everybody, there's a huge respect for you and what you're doing.
I don't really feel like I'm doing a whole lot. My job previously was as a partnership manager, so it was connecting people, setting up meetings. I've worked for children's centres, arranging family events and days out and things. So I just really felt like I was drawing on my experience, and that's what I could offer to Flat Earth. I'm no Einstein. I'm not going to figure out how it actually works. Do you know what I mean? I can study the stars and the moon and understand it, but I'm never going to be the one that comes up with the deep maths or whatever.
I think very few people are.
Yeah, and I think we've all got our own part to play in getting this truth and sharing the truth.
Well, part of the reason I wanted to video it is part of the same reason why you're doing what you're doing. It's just to show people that people are coming together, and the rational people, and
we're normal. we're not all nutcases. We're not all fringe society.
It's encouraging other people to see that people are coming together. And
I've never. Every time I come away from camp, I feel like my soul's been recharged. Do you know what I mean? It's just so refreshing. There's you get nothing but positive energy, aren't you, off people? That's not at camp. Yes, absolutely. All I get is positivity, but online, I get quite a lot of negativity and people picking what you're doing is not good enough. I wouldn't do it like this. I'm like, well, hey, go do it how you do it. You know, I'm not making you. I've been accused of, because people have to pay to camp, and they're like, why should we have to pay? It's free to camp. I'm like, well, because people bring children, they want facilities, they want toilets and things. I'm all for wild camping, but...
And land to camp on.
Yeah, and land to camp on. It's not that easy to house 40, 50 people.
And it's not as if you're breaking the bank, asking for a huge cheque or anything.
I'm not making any money. The camps... what the camps charge me is what people pay. Me and the admin lay on the food on a Saturday night for everyone. A bit out of I've got a sticker campaign going on. I don't know if you've heard of my Flat Earth sticker campaign. So that makes a little bit of money. Mostly that goes back into the prizes for the campaign. But if there's a bit left over, it goes towards the food for for the camps and things, because we do sort of lay on quite a lot for people.
Yeah. No,
but then saying that, you know, I find everyone is so generous. Everyone brings to the table what they've got. You know, some people have got a bit more than others, and they don't resent bringing what they've got and, hey, everyone share what I've got. So we've got a guy that hires out yurts and makes quite a lot of money from them and that, and if he can make one of our events, he will provide a yurt free of charge and things like that. You know, so it's that community.
Yeah, my friend Leslie's sister Debbie, she pointed out the campsite here that people are camped quite close together. And when people come out, they're
it's not like someone all the way over there and all the way over there.
And
slowly fill the gaps. It was like from the in outwards.
It's very inclusive, and people are speaking to each other. And where if you're on a normal campsite, that would
absolutely. Well, you think a lot of people are coming for the first time. They're coming to a field of people they've never met before. They don't know really like who we are, and a lot of people come on their own. So it's a really brave thing to do as well. No one's regretted it. No. It's everyone is made so welcome by everyone. It's lovely.
That's fantastic. Would you say it's life changing? Being into this?
Yeah. For me, it was. I don't think it is for everyone, but I think it's a paradigm shift. You know, for me, I was selling solar panels, and part of my sales spiel was to say these panels are the ones you use on satellites in space, so they don't need any maintenance and they work forever. And then when I accepted, I'd looked into Flat Earth quite obsessively, probably for 3 or 4 weeks before I was like, I actually think this is what's going on. I had to quit my job because I just couldn't sit there and say to people, we send our satellites to space. But on a side note, I don't believe in space. So.
Oh, that's very big of you to do that. Right.
Yeah, well, it's another thing. I think I think with Flat Earth, for a lot of people, it makes them a better version of themselves. You know, so integrity and things starts to come back to being
and like you said, the money thing. You know, I think people have to show integrity, and otherwise people just think
you just think you're trying to make money off people and things. That's what I mean. The sticker campaign. Obviously, I don't sell them quite at cost price because some go missing in the post. I have to replace them. I often give them away free at meets, but the meets are getting a bit too big to be able to just keep doing that. But it's not about making money. It's for me, it's getting the campaign, getting it out there. It's a real fun thing to do. If you've got a couple of you to go out together, post the stickers about, get pictures of them together and that.
Do you put it on YouTube or anything?
It's just on Facebook. I've got a couple of the FEUKERS have made videos around the stickers.
I've spoken to a few people who said it's like feeling life changing.
Absolutely.
Is that with you? Yeah.
It was perspective changing. I'd already been researching about chemtrails since about 2006. And then in 2014 I looked into a satellite hoax video, and the guy, I can't remember which channel it was, but the guy said, and by the way, Earth's flat. And it kind of didn't really sink in, but I didn't fight it. And started looking into it, and of course all around me, so obvious, in plain sight. We're not moving, we're not spinning. If we're not spinning, we're not on a ball.
So where do you see this going then in the next few years?
Well, in the last 2 years that this has been going, it's grown quite immensely. There's every person from all walks of life are talking about it now. Slowly being pushed into the mainstream, but it's being slipped in there by certain people. With the billboard that's just happened in Philadelphia, that's great exposure. You know, that's a lot of people are going to see that in the week that it's there, and it's not going away. You know, I've had a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a fad." People that haven't looked into it yet, but those of us that know that the truth is no investigation, it's only going to grow. So
absolutely,
slowly, I think it's gonna get out there, and the people in charge. Governments are going to have to address it, because you can't hide the truth. It's there in plain sight. You know? So
Sandman said that he heard on Big Brother they were discussing it.
Oh yeah, I don't watch TV, but that's good. That just shows that it's getting everywhere. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. and people are becoming more familiar with the term at least, you know.
Yeah. Even if it's a joke, someone drops it as a joke, the seed is planted.
Absolutely.
Out of one person that might say that, someone else might hear it and be like, you know what, that does sound interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And look into it, and that's how it begins.
For me, I feel like as well also that everyone's too indoctrinated into, you know, science or space or NASA or whatever you want to categorise.
Emotionally invested in it.
They are too deep involved with it that they can't actually see what we see, because they see it as everyday thing. It's normal to them, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's their reality. So when they're shown these images, they will also agree with, I don't know if he was a technician or whatever he was, photo technician, whatever he did, Zach Robert Simmons, but they would agree with him because they're already sucked into believing stuff that's all based on theories and hypotheses.
And it's a wee bit like when I say to people about the shape of the earth, and they say, well, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. I feel that's a wee bit like NASA when they're showing people that,
but they don't care, they've got the attitude of it, don't really give it.
They don't care, like, because they put it right in front of you.
Yeah, the natives aren't going to be restless over it. They've got their TV and they've got their soaps.
And they're happy, you know what I mean? Happy just living that little bubble, like, nothing.
They've got that many people brainwashed. It's, you know, the amount of people that's brainwashed outnumber the amount of people that's not brainwashed. So all the time, like, it's always going to be like the majority of people are going to stick up and support NASA because of what they see. And you know,
I've got a friend who works with NASA or something like that. Like my uncle works here and stuff like that. It's just
crazy. Of course, they stand up for the indoctrination that they don't realise that they received from their education systems.
It's just
like when I was in school, I never really questioned it. I just wanted geography to hurry up, and like my background of where I came from, Wolverhampton. I was in Heath Park High School. I just wanted my geography lesson to hurry up and end so I could get on to the next one, so I can hurry up and end so I could get home. Geography didn't really fascinate me. Obviously it fascinates others, but for the majority of people, they really like, when we're getting told that we live on the ball, we're getting told even like shorter than that. Obviously when the first things that we learn when we're going to school, 2 + 2 = 4, you know what I mean? The earth is a globe. We're getting pushed in our face, and something that always relates to me is that when we're going into school from a young age, we're so used to playing with toys and things, and that's what's brought us up and made us happy. We see enjoyment and delightfulness out of, you know, a toy object that we see. So when we go into the classroom and we see that globe and it spins round, it's a movable, you know, interacting object that you can easily communicate with the other kids in there. So when you see that toy, you run up to it when you've got a couple of minutes before the teacher does the register or whatnot, and you're going to be playing with it, because I remember clearly playing with it.
Yeah, see, no, this is what
you spin it round, you land on your finger and you go, that's where I'm going to live, that's where I'm going to live when I'm older, or you say, that's where I'm going to go, or whatever. Like you play around, you play around with it, don't you?
Yeah, it's interactive and it's appealing, isn't it?
Yeah, so you feel like a connection with it straight away. So when people are like, you know, you see that, and then the, you know, education people are telling you that's what we live on, and you know, the teacher don't know nothing. She's just regurgitating repeatable supposed information that's backed up by nothing but the heliocentric model when it started by Copernicus.
I'm moving around because it's quite dark in here.
Is it dark? Yeah, it's probably the best way to keep me in the dark.
Well, it happened to you for most of your life, didn't it?
Kept me in the dark. Oh, that's a pun there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a very good pun you could kind of work on and use to advertise or something, isn't it?
Because I'm quite shocked, you know, that most of my life was lived a lie, believing
I know.
a lie.
But simple things to me, like planes, right? Common sense now comes in, thinking, why do we call a plane a plane? Is it because he's flying over a plane?
Yes, yeah.
And it's common sense to me now. Yeah. But somebody would say, oh no, it's not called a plane because of that. It's called a plane because it's actually abbreviated to be something else. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But then sea level, when they call sea level at the beach, sea level, it's calling it level because it is level.
Yeah.
You know?
Not sea curvature.
Yeah. And it's mass, it's water. Everybody knows water finds its level. You know? But it doesn't apparently when it's on the globe around the seas. That's different.
No, yeah, basically I just don't. I can't accept the lies, and when you look at NASA, then it just becomes comical, just the ridiculous things that they expect you to believe and the things that they can say it's almost like they have a competition in the office every morning and say, right, what can we put out in the media today? What bullshit will they swallow this morning? And it just gets more and more ridiculous. And like, when they went to Pluto, they said they sent a probe to Pluto, and it took nearly 10 years for this probe to reach Pluto, but the second it got there, it was beaming images back the same day, like perfect images of Pluto with the outline of the cartoon dog Pluto in these images. So it's like they're mocking you at the same time. And
but then, should you really be viewing all that so critically as you are? Should you not just be accepting what they're telling you?
Yeah, I think it would be a lot simpler if you just accepted it. You know, just buried your head in the sand and carried on going to work and paying your taxes and all that business. But then it's just, that's another thing that doesn't sit in my mind very well. Like, we have to go to school, and then we've got to go to work, and we work, and we work, and we work, and then at like 65, say, okay, now you can have some time off. And
if you're healthy enough to enjoy it.
Yeah, and this, like, I'm sure that's not what life's about, you know.
Has anybody said anything to you today that's made you think, oh, wow, yeah, I never thought of that before?
My biggest problem, not really, no, they're all on the same sort of hymn sheet a little bit with the flat earth. Some have got, like I say, different ideas about domes being over the earth. But for me, I just think, why, if it is flat, have we been told it's round? Why? Who's to gain from it? What's to gain from saying the earth's round? Yeah. Who wins by it? And there's no monetary thing attached as I can see to it. Maybe going way back, I don't know, Middle Ages maybe, when the church were getting involved and saying and deciding, yeah, it's round. Who gains by it? Who gains by it? Does it stop people wanting to travel? If they thought it was flat, does it stop people wanting to travel? Because they say, well, we don't have to go over the other side of the world, or, you know, we can go straight this way and end up at America. We can go straight this way, you know. Yeah, like I say, I've come for this weekend. To be fair, I probably wouldn't have come on my own, because I didn't know anybody here. I knew one person who brought me along and said, listen to these people, and it'll help you maybe think about it a little bit more, and then go on away, which I'm going to do, and look into it more, because I've always, you know, I'm hearing a bit about this about 15-20 years ago. Somebody mentioned flat earthers, and I just went, no. Never even gave it a second thought. Obviously I'm giving it a second thought now. I'm here, seeing these people, and a lot of people. It's not just a bunch of, like, a few people that have, now and it's a growing thing, and it looks to be a growing thing from what I'm gathering.
Would you describe yourself as an open person?
Yeah.
Well, you will look into it then if you're an open person.
I will. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to pan out, but do you know, if I become a firm believer, because I think there's no half measure. I think once you've decided, the information's, these people I've asked about the same, because this is what I'm going to do. I've asked, what did you do? They've told me I went on this website, went on that website, you need to look at this guy, what he's saying, blah blah, and all that. So I'm going to do that for myself, because they couldn't really tell me. You know, there's obviously quite a bit of information out there.
But you could do your own experiments as well, rather than relying on secondary.
Oh, it'd be great to go out into space, wouldn't it? And then just say, well, there we go, folks, I've seen it. It's been a big sham. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that, God. Imagine all the space things, all the people that are buying into it or being bought off to say that. I mean, scientists, astronauts, what's the game? What's going on? If it's the big conspiracy, then it's bizarre.
So I've done nearly 3 years worth of research, and you know, had awareness that we're not on a spinning ball. And it's the most profound, groundbreaking, empowering, life-changing awareness, and it's something so simple. It's our birthright, really.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Absolutely. And do you think it's gained great momentum in 3 years?
It seems to have done, but obviously a lot of anti-momentum as well, because there's a lot of people who are fighting it People really don't want to know, especially in the geoengineering chemtrail sector. It seems to have been split in half, which is a shame.
And why do you think people are so resistant to the idea that they may not be living on a swimming ball?
Well, I think we're all very heavily programmed. The moment we step foot in that classroom, that's it. Can't trust your senses. And of course, any child will see a globe and ask how the water doesn't fall off. But those slightly more advanced in the programming will ridicule immediately, because that's what we're
programmed to do.
It's the way we roll. But I didn't laugh when I heard it. I looked into it.
Yeah,
and was blown away by the discovery.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with most people. That I went away to prove them wrong. I said, I'll prove we're living on the ball. That can't be true. So, of course, the more you read, the more you watch.
The more you look, it's all about perspective. Yeah. And all you need to do is watch some high altitude balloon footage and bingo. The horizon doesn't lie.
No, it doesn't.
But there is all sorts of ideas, and everyone's got their own sort of spin on what they think. You know, there's ice walls surrounding things, and you know, and I just start thinking about Terry Pratchett and his Discworld novels, and I wish I could speak to him a bit about it, because obviously he's come to that
without all this media information.
Yes, yeah. So, and I rate his writing. I mean, it's absolutely comical. I mean, these people, I mean, they do take themselves seriously, but they understand, and I mean, these people are getting, obviously, there's people they can't speak to about this, because they're never going to get ridiculed for this, for their beliefs in this flat earth. That's what I can't grasp it. I think some of them are the same way, but there are some that, there's certain people I don't voice my views on the world, and it must be difficult for them. Yeah. But I'm going to be angry. If I find out in my mind that it's flat,
and you've been lied to,
and I've been lied to, I'm going to be annoyed. Yeah. And I don't. But I want to be able to point the finger. I want to be able to say, "You've lied to me," but I don't know where you're going to point that finger.
Can you say what your Facebook page is then?
It's the FEUKERS, which is FEUK. FEUKERS. It's just a play on the word FEUKERS, fuckers. Like, you know, we're British. It's like
we're British fuckers.
yeah, it's like the French Connection thing when they just jumbled up the letters. It's you know, we have quite a lot of fun with playing with the name in the group, because we all we've all known each other. I've been running the group probably a year before we started doing meets. So a few of us sort of knew each other. We'd become friends online and that, so we weren't complete random strangers. But as it's growing, obviously, with people like you are coming along that aren't on Facebook.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks very much.
Okay.
But like Alan there, you know, he's really enthusiastic, great energy, and I think you need people like that in this. You know,
definitely.
It's just contagious, I think. But so, what do you hope is going to happen in the next couple of years with this subject?
This subject, well, hopefully more people, you know, will wake up, and you know, I think there's more and more. It's a very expanding thing, and like it's exploding, isn't it? And like a lot more people are getting awake, and you know, obviously you've got people that are really stubborn and won't even look at the evidence, you know, but they're arguing their side, but they won't. They're not willing to look, but they're the people like the Trekkies, and you know, because everyone, you know, trying to sway a Trekkie or someone that believed in Star Wars, or you know, as a kid always wanted to go to outer space, for instance. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get them to see, you know.
So, do you think this experience has been a life-changing experience?
Just more in the way that I'm starting to find out, confirming lies from NASA makes billions of pounds, and they must have connections with all the corporations. It just confirms a lot of the lies, really. I don't think it changes people being good, knowing the difference between good and bad and stuff. Like, you know, not religious, and I just think that it's more about learning for yourself. We've got to learn this realm for ourselves instead of believing. I think it's more about trying to create good, you know, knowing.
But don't you get that vibe being here today, or meeting everybody else?
Yeah, amazing. I feel like synchronicity's happening at the moment. Like, we're going through a shift, and people are pulling together with the right people.
Pulling together, and
we're all being drawn to each other, and it's a great vibe.
It is a good
synchronisation speeding up, and more people are waking up without knowing it. And, and it's almost like there's a game going on, and there's a race against time between the bad powers that be, and against us, because there's some kind of conscious shift happening. And they want to do it before everyone comes together.
Taught at school, and like they're so open to any suggestion in the media, and it's kind of in their lives all the time, you know. They have these images that planets are these little ball things that you can go and land on, when they're just lights in the sky, and they're right there, you know. There's no great distance, they're just there. You can see them and you can zoom in on them with your camera.
It's kind of difficult to do light years away.
Yeah. Oh, that as soon as the like space agencies start speaking in light years and things like that, then I just used to switch off. So it never, all the information that I learned over the years, like going to school and watching documentaries and stuff, none of it really stuck with me, because it just, it didn't interest me. I just thought, how do you know? How do you know that that happened 13 billion years ago? Or how do you know that that's travelling so fast? Or how do you know Pluto's got a ice core or whatever bullshit they come out with? So
absolutely, yeah. And just biggest belief that people just buy that without even critically questioning it or doubting it.
Yeah.
That it's true.
No, and that these people, they're the authority on it, and the likes of Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson and the science guy Bill Nye. People worship them, you know, like the gods, and like it makes me laugh that people pay money to go and watch like Stephen Hawking's, and they actually believe that the man in the chair is the one speaking and having all these thoughts about the cosmos and all the rest of it. And when you look at the man in the wheelchair, it doesn't even look like Stephen Hawking's. And Stephen Hawking has had ALS for like 50 years, so he's like, he should be in the Guinness World Book of Records for that, you know.
For surviving it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
I know.
They're going to listen to this man with the like, intelligent cheek muscle and...
Yeah, great. Great how you can do all that just with that. Yeah.
It always bewilders me how that one cheek muscle has never failed him, because all his other muscles have like wasted away, but the one he needs to power the voice, the computer voice.
Yeah.
But, so, and Flat Earth has so many freedoms that just make so much sense with it, when you realise that if it is a flat plane and there's more land, and then it has a purpose, and it's not a ball spinning randomly in a vacuum going who knows where, if you can go, without a purpose. Do you know what I mean? And we have a purpose, and one of the things about humanity is that we're lost, really, because it's like we've got the who are we, where are we from, why are we here kind of questions, and then when you start researching the flat Earth, you realise, well, yeah, it makes so much sense. If the Earth is a plane and it's infinite, for instance, and you can create it in your imagination as like a blueprint, because we can create from our thoughts, so that we can keep creating Earth, without border control. And if the sky is electric, and the Earth is like magnetic, then they need each other. So if they tell us that space is infinite, then and electricity needs to be earthed, then Earth needs to be infinite as well.
Yes, I suggest that to people, that perhaps it's infinite, and then they scoff at that. I said, do you scoff? Oh, could you do that again so I can get that on camera? Yeah, when I say, well, you accept that space is infinite when they tell you, but yet you scoff at the thought of land being infinite. What's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's because we're just told stuff when we're so young, and then we kind of believe it, and you don't even question when adults tell you, when you're a kid. If adults tell you something, we don't question it really at all. We just, because we're told it in a way that is magical.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, with the fairies and, with the
when we're naive enough to...
Yeah.
At the same time as Santa Claus.
Yeah, because what happens is our imaginations are like sparked all the time, So, we're told all these things like Santa Claus come down the chimney and all that.
Well, I feel quite strongly that the children at school should be taught geocentric cosmology, even if it's just as alongside heliocentric cosmology. obviously we should be teaching our children the truth. And it's really kind of fundamental to our awareness as humans that we know what we're standing on and what we're looking at. To lie to the children is just the worst thing in my opinion, because they're so full of trust. And why lie? Why lie?
Yeah, I resonate with that totally.
It's particularly the children. It's the whole truth thing. I mean, yeah.
And was this your first meet? Or you've been to a few of them before?
This is my first meet. I've met a few flat earthers in Manchester a couple of weeks ago, and thought I'd like meet them again. Like, got on really well.
So it's all very encouraging, isn't it? And meeting more and more people.
Yeah, it's nice meeting people who are on your level, and you can talk about anything, and they understand. They know all the names of the people you're talking about and the terminology. And it confirms that you're not crazy, because everyone can't be crazy.
Yeah.
So it's nice, it's reassuring.
Yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah.
So what would be your hopes then for the next few years?
I don't know what my hopes are. I wish everyone could understand it, but I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think people are interested. They don't want to risk the sanity. Because that's how it feels when you're deprogramming your brain.
Yeah. So what made you risk your sanity then?
Situation. Had a lot of time on my hands, looking for questions, probably at that age, midlife crisis age sort of thing, and you start delving deeper to the meaning of life.
How did you come to it?
I fly drones.
You don't mind me asking?
No, I fly drones, and 3 years ago I wasn't getting a signal up north, and I wasn't getting a signal in the valley.
A bit like mobile phones, you drop signals and things.
Well, that's a killer, because I said, I'm not getting a signal on my mobile phone either. Oh, wait a minute here. Is this the same? Does this come from the same land-based mass, or is that satellite? So then I started researching satellites in space. Even though I'd researched moon landings before this, and thought there's no way that ever happened.
I watched a documentary on it, and you see flags flapping and things like this, and dust not settling on the pillars of the legs of the actual shuttle.
There's numerous things.
I'll tell you. Can I just go on to the moon thing?
Sorry, finish the satellite thing. So I find no real footage of a satellite in space. I offer people £500 to show me a real footage of a satellite in space. It's all CGI or cartoons. Then I researched rockets in space. No rockets in space. All CGI and cartoons. Like, space is fake, International Space Station's fake, satellites are fake, the moon's fake. So why are they telling me this? Why are they lying?
What about all the other planets, the solar system and things? Is that all a bit of a fictitious thing, or?
Well, I believe in being honest about what we can see for ourselves. What I can see up there are coloured lights. Anything more than that is
so is that like looking up at the planetarium?
Well, I think that's exactly what it's like, looking up at the planetarium. And people have used those powerful cameras where they can zoom in on stars, and what they see is different to what's being presented to us. It's all different coloured shapes.
Why do the powers that be want this in place, do you think?
Well, don't you think it could be about control?
Yeah, but we've got fear for control. We had communism fear, we've had religion as fear, fire and brimstone, and now we've got terrorism with this. Fear controls people. Yeah, you don't really need to...
It works to certain degrees on some people, but not everybody. I mean,
but people are like, we are an animal and we are sheep-like.
But I think you'll notice, talking to everyone here, that they're not in fear of,
No, these folks are they're stable folk.
Yeah, and they're not in fear, so it doesn't work in everybody. But if you convince everybody's on a ball, they're not going to look for further land, are they? If they have this mental prison of being on a ball.
You think they'll stop exploring?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll keep them contained.
It's containment.
Yeah, it's like a pen. It's like a zoo. And let's just say
so this is a lot bigger than we're being told.
Well, obviously I can't prove that, but
you think so?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to go off trekking, and if you were younger? Do you think you'd say, right, I'm going to go from here?
Why can't I do it now?
Exactly, you could. You say, I'm going to go from here to here, this point A to point B.
Have you heard of the Antarctic Treaty?
Only with some of these guys, but there's been a lot of information. I mean, I was up nearly all night chatting to people about all of it, you know, and it's a lot for me to come at it.
Yeah, it is.
I've got to process the information, and I'm going back to process more.
A few people I've spoken to have said it's been life-changing. Has it been for you?
It has in a way, because I've met so many people now, and I never would have done that. And also, with the realisation, it's the stillness. Your mind can be clear, you know, because how can you ever think clearly when you think you're on a spinning ball whizzing through space and hurtling towards your death away from a big bang? And so it's like you can never have a clear mind, you can never be still with yourself. But when you realise that actually it's flat and it's motionless and it's just the way we experience it every single day, then there's like a oneness, really. So it is life changing for people.
Yeah.
It's a big thing to come to terms with.
Would you say it's a position you feel more secure and calm and confident rather than fear and
well, yeah, because because in the heliocentric model, you know, we're at risk from meteorites and things, you know,
and
alien invasions and all this. Yeah, silliness.
Yeah, and somebody once said that's how you control a nation, to keep them in fear, because they look to government to be led out of that fear.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you expect in the next 2 years, or what would you like to happen with this realm in the next 2 years?
I don't know.
Or where do you think? Where would you see it going?
I think with the information of flat Earth, that's been growing steadily for a while, and it's growing every day. I'm expecting like the younger generation to pick it up and really run with it, you know. The world's a very mixed up place at the moment. I'd like to see it straighten itself out a bit.
Where would you like to see it in the next couple of years, or where do you think it will be in the next couple of years?
Next couple of years, I'd say we'd like to see it. Everyone just a mass wave, a mass tidal wave of uplifting consciousness, uploading everyone's memory and consciousness, kind of thing. Just deciding, had enough. Let's make our own lives and pull together. I just like to see people pull together instead of have fear and anger with each other. Because there's plenty for everyone without control, isn't there? There's plenty for everyone if we just calm down and balance, pull together.
Yeah, it's great to be around like a lot of the other people that you know, think the same as you, and you know, you get talking to them. And I haven't met anyone really in the flat Earth community today that you know, are not very nice people. They're all very good people, humble, you know,
grounded.
Yeah, grounded, very nice people, you know, and it's really enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? You know? And that's the sort of people I want to be around. Do you know what I mean? Because it's important to be around people that are like open-minded and people that are on the sort of same wavelength as you, and you know,
and encouraging you to challenge things. And
Yeah.
Isn't it fascinating? Some people, especially before interviews, well, what does it matter to me if it's round or flat? And I think,
how can it not matter? How can being unconscious of what we're standing on not matter?
Because they've been so dumbed down to care. You know, they don't care anymore.
It's the most amazing realisation, and yet nothing changes, but everything's changed. Simple shift in perspective. Perspective is everything.
No, it is absolutely.
And I suppose as an artist, I've done a lot of looking. I like to look at things
in detail.
In detail, I like to look.
You become more aware, don't you? And you look at things more deeply, sensitive.
Understanding perspective and vanishing points and how all of that works.
Common sense.
Common sense, because it's what we're looking at, isn't it?
At primary school, when they first told you lived on this ball, pretty soon had a couple of questions and they said, gravity, blah, blah. So after that, and between coming here today, have you ever seriously questioned the fact that you live on the ball? Have you ever seriously looked into that and questioned it, what you were told at 5?
Yeah, I've sailed a bit, and I've seen boats go over the horizon, or the so-called horizon, as these guys would tell me. But yeah, and I know if you get stronger than because you get that little bit further. Now, there's a thing: if you've seen something go over the horizon, but then you look again, have you seen them go over the horizon then?
Well, it can't possibly have gone over the horizon if you can see the bottom of the boat through your binoculars. That proves it's not going over.
But I've sailed out to sea, and I've done it the other way. As a kid, I've looked out to sea, seen that boat, watched it to come. Yeah, okay, that's that. So I'm thinking, as probably a lot of other people,
and because you've been told
that's the curvature, that's around it. They've gone over. And back in the day, people said, "Oh, we'll never see them again." You know, that's what I was told as a kid. And how silly was that? You know, dropping off the edge of the earth, and. So there wasn't a lot of information given to a 5-6-year-old about it, to be honest. Once you've shown you the globe, once they've told you that, you buy into it quite. A kid, an adult, you're not questioning it at 5 or 6.
No.
So
and your critical thinking
stayed there
developed.
at the back of your mind. You get into your teens. I mean, I think my lad and my daughter might hear of this a lot more. I think it's coming to the fore a lot more. This, I think.
Yeah. So did you seriously look into it and study it then?
No, I've not studied. No, I've travelled. I've travelled.
Yeah. So like me, you accepted it and thought.
Of course, like everybody else, like sheep.
Without questioning it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you're in a state of questioning.
Exactly.
Now, can I put it to you, like when we think we're seeing a ship, especially if you're out in the middle of the sea, when we think we're seeing a ship going over the curvature. Now, if we truly were on a ball and the physics of a ball slopes equally in all directions, then we should see that curve to the left, to the right, and behind us, shouldn't we?
Yeah. See, I can only the only way I can put this into sort of like any sort of like mental picture for me is what I've experienced, and that is I've seen the boat go that way, and I've been on the boat looking back, and I've seen that disappear.
So you've seen the two different directions?
Yeah.
Right, okay. But did you use...
I never got my binoculars out and said, let me have a look now and see if I can see that beach.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, that was...
So you've only got so much vision, as you know. And there is distortion, I do know.
And it's a part of perspective, isn't it? But then if you did that experiment yourself, that would sort of prove to you, rather than listening to second-hand information, well, I can see the boat again, so it couldn't have disappeared.
I've done the boat thing going that way, and I wanted to just have a look, and I had the binoculars, and then I got a little bit more vision. But it still goes out of vision of the binoculars. You know, unless you've got a really super duper powerful telescope, I don't know if you could do the experiment. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's done it. I don't know.
I've done it myself.
Okay,
numerous times. But it's a matter of distance of the boat. Obviously, if it's so far away you can't see it, and then you use your telescope and it's still small, then it's still going to appear to be over the alleged curvature. But if it's close enough where you can just about see it...
The only thing that pricked me with it was I've lost the boat now. I can see a bit of the boat now, and then I take the binoculars away and I'm thinking, well, so if I've got more vision, what's happening in this curvature? There was just one moment at that particular time when I thought, I'm not sure, you know, I've looked now and I can see boat, naked eye, okay, it goes out of vision and that, but what's happening? I should have questioned it more, but I let it go, moved on to the next thing, but I did think, well, that's a bit strange how I can still see a little bit more. If it's gone over, it's gone over. I shouldn't really.
You shouldn't see any of it at that distance.
I'm only thinking about it now, I'm bringing this back up because this is a distant memory. But
do you know that the...
I'd like to do it again now.
Yeah, absolutely. the curvature is 80 inches per mile squared. Now, if you're having to use your binoculars to see the boat, you shouldn't be able to see it at all on the curvature of the Earth. It should be well below.
This is what I'm thinking about, distant memory, and you've got to be careful. So I want to try that for myself. That's something I've got to try for myself. And I've got to look into this.
And distant buildings as well. You shouldn't be able to see them. They should be well below the curvature of the Earth.
But can you? Why do you think that? Why? I mean, this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Why would you want to do it? Why would you want to perpetuate the fact that the Earth's round when it's not?
Yeah, I mean
that's what I can't get.
Well, I don't think any of us can get, because we're not doing that. But for me, I think it's obvious about control and keeping us all penned in.
So you think it keeps us all
absolutely
nicely tied up? Wow. See, I've got a lot. It's blown. You know, a lot of what's been said. I'm like I say, I'm having to sort of like crunch through it all and think. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's simple, isn't it? Really, because if you just have a group of people and you tell them one thing, and then they're more likely to want to agree with each other because we're agreeable by nature. Like people say,
to be accepted.
Yeah, well, so people say like, you know, there's all these wars and this crimes and stuff because humans are bad, so to speak, and they're aggressive or in a fight. But actually, it's the reverse. It's when push comes to shove, people will protect each other. Do you know what I mean? And then it's abused and turned into a war.
So what would your hopes be for the subject over the next few years?
Well, we need like loads more experiments, like proper documented experiments that we can then give the paper to, like in standard science. The scientific method is a good method because it means that you can do your method, write it all down, document it, your conclusions and your discussion and all that. You can give it to someone else and then they can replicate it and see if they get the same results or similar results in the same circumstances. And in order to find out where we are on this like Earth, it's about investigating because we are inquisitive creatures. Do you know what I mean? You know, and
absolutely,
I think that's been stifled, like in the school system, definitely stifles you. And more people are coming to these gatherings that are happening. And this is just one in here. You've got all the Americas and stuff like that, where they're all coming together. More and more people that come together and just come together, and it's like magnets then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's attracting like minds, and it's people that are suddenly, it's like a switch goes off in your brain, like, and it's like these pictures that you see, they've got a picture within a picture, and somebody says, can you see the picture? You're like, no. And then suddenly you just see a little bit of it, and then you see like, the old woman or the young woman type picture, and then suddenly you can swap between the two. So once you see something, you can't not see it anymore because you have the power then to control your brain and how it perceives. And I think that's what's happening with Flat Earth is we're now perceiving our reality in a way that was hidden, so to speak.
Lifting the veil.
Yeah.
It's a big thing and an honest thing if people do say that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, at the end of the wave, basically, I don't really know anything. It's just I feel like I'm always learning. And I think you know something and then it changes. And but I think I know that I don't know, and I prefer to keep it that way and just keep learning. I'm always critical of myself. So I think it's good to be critically aware and be critical of yourself, and always want to keep learning more and just. Let's all get naked and link arms.
Yeah, I think in the last few generations we've lost an awful lot of knowledge, but we're reclaiming it.
Yes,
and we're reclaiming it because of the internet.
Yeah.
That has actually changed everything for us in this time of deceit, that we can communicate in moments and have a different understanding of what's going on. People say, oh well, you've only got Google. Well, I mean, at least Google brings me all options,
from around the world.
Everybody's voice from all over the earth, unlike of course TV, which just gives you a very narrow view.
I threw my TV out about 10 years ago.
I threw mine out about let me think, about 17 years ago with the children, but then of course we got digital around about 2007 and got a computer, and I got on Facebook in 2007 and then the children got their tablets.
Well, thanks very much. That's been brilliant.
Thank you very much.
But what I like about this, John, as well, is like I said to you before earlier, you can find you've all got that thing in common, that you're all open-minded, you come here, some of them are not, but then you talk about other things, and one of the fascinates me that I'm really, really into is like water. water having memory. You know, they're proving these experiments now about water actually containing memory. With I can't remember his name, Japanese guy that did the water experiment. And then there's a Swiss guy that developed grander water system thing which re-energises water. And you look into that, and it makes common sense when you realise it. But you're thinking it's a really hard thing to sell. Because you're telling people to basically have faith and believe that everybody can have positive energy and affect things around them, and like you bless the water and you drink it and it makes it better. But then you have to, and you can't really sell that. People just have to really learn that.
Yes,
and try to believe that themselves and realise that that's what it's all about. But it isn't like me. How long have you been, John?
Just over 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. And how long were you sort of like a lot of other people, researching it, or straight away just thinking, do you know what? I've got my technology here. You know, I've got my cameras. I've got drones or something. Let's just do some more experiments myself. Yeah. Now I've got this possibility to look at. Was it you telling me last night as well about you had drones, or somebody was in valleys and they were having satellite and it was breaking every time they lost network connection, and you sit there thinking, hang on a minute, these phones are that clever and it's satellite, it's GPS, you shouldn't need network connection, you should be picking up the satellite.
Well, that's what kicked me off.
I know, every debate I watched him, and it's like 300 proofs the world's flat. And he rolls them off, doesn't he? And some you think, actually...
200 proofs,
yeah, but some of them think sometimes, do you know what, I think it's probably too much.
Yeah.
Because some of the ones you say, you can kind of relate to, but then he gives you another one, and another one, and another. But I see what he's getting at. The more proofs he gives it out there, and then individual people will have their experience or their knowledge in that field, will be able to go off and test that.
Yeah.
And then we're going, he's right. But what about this one? What about that one? That's the best way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know they throw it back at Global and say, right, we'll show us the world's round there. Prove to us the world's round. And they come back, oh, we've seen pictures from NASA, haven't we? All out of space. The first thing they see, well, look at the globe that they've showed you from the 70s onwards. And the continents have changed sizes. You know, the seas change colour, you know, and the clouds, you can see the clouds, oh no, hang on, they're photoshopped in. They've copied and pasted these photo clouds here. Yeah. And you sit there thinking, it's all being detected now.
Yeah.
And it's getting to stage now with computer graphics and everything else. They've got to come clean at some stage.
There's a lot more to this than meets the eye, I reckon, and I'm going to really, like you say, I keep saying, I'm going to look into this.
But going back to water, nowhere in nature does water behave where it's existing on the outside of a surface of a ball. But we're supposed to have a huge leap of faith to believe that can actually work.
Leaps of faith.
Yeah, and there's no evidence for that.
But leaps of faith, that's how religion gets born. It's blind faith.
But then science.
But we take it on board like blind faith that the Earth's round because we've had it at little kids. It's drip fed at a young age.
And you never thought about it again.
And they don't have to come back it again because they gave it you early on.
That's right.
They know it's stuck there.
Implemented.
Yeah. So I'm going to be really annoyed if I do come out on. Off the fence and say yeah.
Well, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I feel I should be doing something about exposing the lie. I'm angry at it.
But what would happen? What's going to happen if you're right and all these people are right? What's going to happen? And the rest of the world starts sort of like thinking, and then somebody does some proof, some categorical. You know, you can't possibly pull it to bits. There's concrete evidence. It could start wars. It could cause all sorts of trouble.
Well,
but talking to these people,
there's wars in trouble now, though, isn't there?
Yeah. It's the last thing we want is a war over flatties and around Earth stuff. But because religion will get brought into it.
Well, some people are religious about it, and some people are not. And I'm not. And
I'm not. But I think it could well get brought in if you got people saying. Because you will still get people, even if it's, categorically the Earth's flat. There's no disputable proof. We've proved it now. Look, see, here's the evidence. Once that happens, or if that does happen, then there's going to be a lot of angry people. There's going to be a lot of angry people because we've all been buying into it for forever.
But then that anger might be used in a constructive way. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
I hope so, and I hope it's sort of. I just hope people think, well, they'll want to get to the root cause of how it got started. People will, I would. Where's the smoking gun on this?
Probably about where we came from is maybe the next logical step if we're being lied about where we live.
Well, yeah, have we evolved or are we an experiment? Yes, I mean, it's a tricky one.
Right.
It's a really tricky one.
Yeah. But no, I think it's fantastic that you're going to look into it and not take anybody's word for it and just go and do your own research.
I think you have to, really. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to talk to people and say, I'm going to go on the internet now and look at this. Why? Why are you wasting your time with that? They're going to call me mad, crazy. And I say, but, hey, you know, you have to question it. You can't take things at just face value, particularly nowadays.
No. But also, if you dismiss something without inquiry, that's classed as lunacy. So you really have to look into it before you dismiss it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I will say is, myself included, so many people here have said that when I first heard it, I thought it was crazy. I said, I'll go off and I'll prove to you it's a ball. But the more we read, the more we research, we go, it's me that's crazy and to believe that we lived on a magical spinning ball with bendy water.
It's the water thing that's not doing it for you, isn't it?
No, well, it's a thing you can observe in nature, the physics of water, and we have to go completely against all that to believe that it can be on a spinning ball.
What about the gravity thing?
Whenever somebody mentions gravity in my street interviews, I play music, the Queen, It's a Kind of Magic, because it can't be proven. And it can't be proven that gravity holds water's a ball, and that's why it's called the theory of gravity, because it's never been proven. Now, density explains everything, and buoyancy explains it without needing gravity. I say to people,
do you think this is if it's a disc, if it's flat, is it moving? Is it static?
But I'm very careful not to make any claims because I don't know. All I can do is challenge the claims that's being presented to me about a ball. I don't know what shape it is, but I will say that the Earth is made up of 73% flat water. Now, if 73% of the Earth is flat and water, how the heck could this be a ball? And you've not observed water behaving on a curve anywhere.
If you've got water sort of like, you're going to end up with. It won't be able to stay static, would it?
What do you mean?
The water. You've got it. Say the sea. If it's on a curvature, there's going to be less water on the top of the curve.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There, I never really thought of the water thing.
There wouldn't be any water left on top, would there?
That is good.
Yeah, but we're supposed to suspend all that natural physics of water.
And see, that's something else. I never really thought about the sea mass.
Yeah, and believe something which you can't evidence, that this magical force that you've never seen before, they can hold giant oceans to a ball, but it can't stop little insects flying up in the air, or smoke, or helium balloons. They must be anti-gravity devices. As my friend
the gas, isn't it?
Dale said.
It's the gas, though, isn't
it?
Yeah,
but a feather, a flower petal, smoke.
You take off a bit of air behind it, it's gone.
Are they anti-gravity devices? Because gravity can hold vast oceans, ships, sea tankers to the ocean, but it can't hold a wee feather going up. It's a contradiction there, isn't there?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's an interesting topic, isn't it? But,
absolutely, yeah.
But you know, I'm quite eager to.
I think if you stick with water, because water is self-evident. Water always finds its own level. We use water as a spirit level everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a leveler.
Yeah.
It finds its own level. It has to be contained. Water cannot exist on the exterior of a shape. All water has to be in a container, or else it will flow. If we throw water out here, it will disperse and find its own level. I mean,
I suppose the argument could be that it'll be in dish. You know, the Earth's probably not round. It's been peppered. Like people tell me, like the moon with craters. Probably the sea's got loads of craters, and that's where the sea's sitting in a hollow. That might help a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't help.
Well, they've been down and there's trenches and all sorts. They know the seabed's not.
Yeah. But it doesn't help water sticking to a ball. But let's say you're flying around the equator, right? And now aeroplanes always fly like that, don't they? With the ground below them.
Yeah.
Now, if you're flying around the equator, what would be below you? It'd be space, would it not?
Well, there's always some sort of space below you, isn't there? There's got to be space below the plane.
There wouldn't be ground, though, would it? if you're on the outside of the ball going round the equator?
Well, I was in Kenya. That's where I saw that and they make a big deal of it. You've got like 2 signposts, and then you've got the centre. They've centred it in Kenya on this road. So either side of that's desert. So if he was to fly over me on the equator, say there in Kenya, yeah, he'd be over the top of me.
Yes, but then because you're on the ball equator, the plane would have to be on its side, would it not? With the ground below it.
It would have to be on a tilt.
To keep the ground below it, it would have to be flying on its side, wouldn't it? Going round the equator.
Logically, yes.
Yeah. So planes don't fly like that. Planes always fly horizontally.
So how did they pull that trick then with the water thing and stuff on the equator?
What trick?
Well, that shouldn't work then.
Explain to me, because I've never seen it. I'm just taking.
Right. It goes left, and then it'll spin left. Your vortex is going left hand spin.
The Coriolis effect you're talking about?
No, you pour water down, say a toilet, or down a sink.
Yeah.
It'll naturally run anti-clockwise or clockwise.
People have set up that experiment where they do it in the same house with 2 different sinks going opposite directions, and there's so many experiments.
You can force it the other way. You can force the water in, but
I don't think that's proof.
Phil, if you went home now and pulled your plug on your sink, you know there's gonna be a vortex created.
Yeah.
Now, if there's no, I don't know what you'd call it, but as we pull that plug, which way do you think it's going to go? Which way does your water spin out that when you let the bath water go?
Yeah, well, I've heard that a lot of it depends on the shape of the sink for a start and the plug.
Right.
And it can go in both directions in the same house.
Right. I'm going to have a play with this as well.
Also, the Coriolis effect that we're told that snipers in the army take that effect.
Yeah.
Now, I've met and spoken to 3 snipers. Asked them if they use the Coriolis effect. They all said no. But you show that in Hollywood films.
About over 700 yards, you need to kind of.
Well, these are long-range snipers, and 3 of them said they never considered.
Wow. 2
of them didn't even know about it. One of them did know about it and said, no, that's just in the movies.
So why is everybody buying into the lie? Are people being paid off for
brainwash? We're brainwashed.
Yeah, but there's going to be people. There's going to be scientists know about this, isn't
there?
But how could they being paid off, or what's going on?
How could they be brave enough to come out and bite the hand that feeds and lose their job and lose their funding?
Some people will just have had enough, and they will just come out. They'll probably put them in a mental home.
Yes. Do you see the amount of microbiologists who've been murdered and killed?
No, not really, no.
You can go. There's a huge list documented of them. What a dangerous profession to be in.
Why? What are they finding out then?
Well, they're into natural resources and renewable energy, but then the big
Oh, that guy who did his hydrogen car in America.
Yeah. But there's a guy in Shetland, Top Gear went up to interview him and run about in his car that runs on water. Now, why is that not mass-produced? Because the petrol companies don't want that to happen, so they'll suppress it and they'll kill people who...
There's a lot of things that the people in the oil companies, the big money.
Which, going around the equator on an aeroplane, keeping the ground below you, you'd have to be on your side. And also, if you're going to circumnavigate between north and south of the poles, the plane, keeping the ground below them, would have to go upside down to go underneath the ball.
Or do a twit, or do some sort of manoeuvre.
Yeah, but they don't. There's no evidence that pilots fly like that. Because they always keep it horizontal using a gyroscope and artificial.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want your plane upside down.
But you'd have to keep your seatbelts on, wouldn't you? You could take your seatbelts off, could you? The stewardesses would be climbing up the aisle with climbing equipment. So that's a physical impossibility to fly around the globe
without twisting.
Yeah, with twisting around upside down.
To bring you level.
Yeah. But to bring you...
Could it do that gradually, do you think, as you come around?
If you watch the movement, right, you're going around like that and you're going to turn, so then the ground is not underneath the plane anymore. The space is underneath the plane.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a physical impossibility. And like I say, if you're on the International Space Station, cough,
well,
and you're looking back...
What's that about? Are they all lying as well up there?
Of course. If you're looking back with your telescope at Earth, you should see planes in every conceivable position going around the globe, shouldn't you? That doesn't happen because planes don't fly like that.
No, they don't.
So it's a lie.
Yeah, right. So air traffic control, and they've got all the blips, all the things stacked up.
Yeah.
There's no. Well, I suppose on those screens they actually look. You wouldn't know. They
No,
look level anyway.
Because they're just going around in a circle, roundabouts in the sky. Yeah.
So pilots must know about this.
No, because I've spoken to I parachute and I paraglide myself, and I've spoken to pilots. And have you ever seen the curvature? No. You never see any curvature? No. Can you do that on camera? No. So nobody's admitted to seeing the curvature of the Earth, right? Now I'd say nobody's seen the curvature of the Earth, and it's not measurable. There's no measurable curvature anywhere. And pilots, they're just following instruments on a panel. You know, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not thinking for themselves and navigating for themselves.
No, it's all on.
And again, I said, have you seen any distant buildings leaning backwards? No. But then we should have it on a curvature of the Earth, and you can see for 100 miles.
There's a lot to look at this. There really is. It's not going to be done overnight.
I climb hills up north, Monroe.
And you look round.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And at the top, there's a wee monument, and it tells you every hill in the distance.
Oh, there's a trig.
Trig.
Yeah.
Trig. What do you call it?
Yeah. That gives you the north, south, and
And it tells you
Ordnance
how far
survey
it is.
type thing. Yeah.
Now some of them are 200 miles away. And it's the same height as the one I'm on. And it's 200 miles, and I can see it. No bloody way. It shouldn't be able to see
200 miles?
200 miles. Yeah. On a clear day.
Have you seen one of them?
Yeah.
You're looking at the trig.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's on a really, really clear day. But generally you can see them 100 miles away. 60 miles away. You shouldn't be seeing them at all. You know.
You'd think you'd see a bend, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But
I think I know what you're trying to say there. I've been up on hills and things, and I've not seen any.
But if it's the same size as the one that I'm on, then I shouldn't see that at all.
Do you know if you was? No, you wouldn't be able to probably see off Everest.
No.
But I don't know. It's interesting.
It's always
an interesting topic now.
It's an insult to people's intelligence, you know.
Well, it will be. You know, if you get found out, and for me, if I'd become like a believer in flat Earth, I would be so annoyed.
I would say not to use that term believer because it just is religious connotations. But if you've got the evidence, if it's evidence based rather than a belief.
Yeah, I'd like to collate a bit more evidence for myself on this.
All evidence based, and I don't know. Like Hisme is saying that you should do your own experiments, but I will say one video which did it for me. Eric Dubé, have you heard of him?
No, I've not looked into any of this.
Well, just watch.
This is all a new thing to me.
Just watch this one video, then. I advise you to. And if you still believe you live in the ball, I'll be amazed. It's Eric Dubé, 200 proofs.
Dubé, right.
But you just put 200 proofs in YouTube, it'll come up.
Wow.
Now he slowly but surely goes through each point, 200 points, systematically, scientifically, and explains to the impossibility of us being on the ball. And you can possibly watch that and still believe you're on a magical spinning ball with bendy water.
But I'm thinking that because of all the sort of like sweeping stuff under the carpet, hiding stuff from the public in our country. I mean, our country's not bad compared to a lot of other countries where they're hiding a lot more things.
I think it's more subtle here. I think we're better. We've
probably been doing it a long time.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the film that's made about Princess Diana and lawful killing, that film was banned in this country by the Queen. You can't view it in this country. And if you look at the Madeleine McCann case where the Portuguese...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, yeah.
The Portuguese policeman wrote a book blaming those two. That was banned from Britain. But we think we live in a free democratic country. We don't.
Well, I know we don't. I think it works. I think the scam works because people will poo-poo it straight away and go, don't be so stupid. Flat, don't be, because...
But then, because they're showing images of boats going over... the edge to ridicule
and we get enough. I mean, there's not a week goes by where you don't see the planet from space. They keep throwing that, especially if they're getting scared. What will happen, you'll see more pictures of that's how they'll work it, because I know that's how they do
new planets discovered,
and then all of a sudden they'll deflect it, like you said. We found this other thing that might have life on. So I know how they work, I know how sneaky they can be, so I'm going to be really annoyed if I do
Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah. But for every day of your life, you've been presented with an image of BBC symbol spinning in your face every day of your life.
It's there, isn't it?
Yeah, and also if you look around,
they've got to reaffirm it. They have to keep reaffirming it if they're trying to pull a fast one. Ridiculous.
And then, as globes being inserted everywhere else in society, you probably don't notice, but it's all subliminal, and it's implanted into our brains that we live in.
There's more subliminal things hitting us than we think.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to ban it, didn't they, off advert subliminal messaging when they first started doing that. They said, "Oh, we can't. No, that's obvious brainwashing. We can't do that." Then you have to slow it up, and they'll see that Oxo's been in there or whatever, been thrown in.
The flicker rate is so fast that our conscious mind doesn't.
But who's to say they're not doing that, flicking the earth at us as a round ball?
They are. I'm 100% sure that's what they're doing.
Just to keep reaffirming the belief.
And that's why people dismiss it so quickly without inquiry, because they've been brainwashed with those subliminal images.
Well, that's the problem. I could believe that. Because I know how they work.
Have you seen the Disney cartoons with all sexualised pictures in them?
No, not really.
Go into Google and research it in Disney cartoons.
I've got enough to research about the flat earth without looking at Disney cartoon stuff, to be honest.
That's aimed at children with giant penises and young girls giving it oral sex and the word sex.
In a cartoon? What? In Blipverts?
Children's cartoons. Wow. To sexualise kids more early. And
well, they are.
Well, it's because of the subliminal messaging. Yeah, but as you say, flat Earth is big enough, but I just think it leads on to so many other...
I know there's lots of other things. That's what makes me question. I'm questioning because I know I've been lied to with other things.
Absolutely. And I think you have to be honest.
I know this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is the big one, but yeah.
And we have to be honest with ourselves and say, well, what do I know about the Earth other than what I've been told?
Exactly. Who does?
What's my evidence?
The everyday Joe's not going to he's going to go along with the herd.
Yes, but then you have to question that. If you've been honest with yourself, you have to be questioned.
Well, I've learned to question a lot of things as I've got older. It might be a bit cynical. Call me a cynic. I think, and I'll try and instill it in younger people to question.
Yeah. I think it's the greatest thing you can have is doubt and to question.
Yeah, I know, but it's, the powers that be don't like folks to question. They want you to toe the line. They want you to. It's. Yeah.
When you were saying earlier about people they're totally convinced, I'm totally convinced, but I've got a back door open because I don't want to be fooled again. So I'm open to being questioned. I'm open to being
brought back to say, look, here's your round earth.
Absolutely, yes. Because I think you have to have a wee back door open to be open-minded.
That's probably a good way of looking at it.
Am I following a cult?
You'd be gutted if you sort of like, no, it's flat.
But I thought it wouldn't be gutted because I've already admitted once that I was lied to. I could quite easily do that again. And I think you should always keep the back door open so you can't be brainwashed.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
And that you can admit to yourself, oh, I've got it wrong again. But here...
Oh, yeah, I've got things wrong loads of times myself.
Exactly.
So,
I think if you've got the strength to do that. But however, with Flat Earth, I feel I've got so much frigging evidence that I know it's not a fucking ball, and I feel I can back it up in both verbal argument or experiments and to show the fallacy that...
No, I'm looking forward to get my teeth into this a bit.
Oh, good.
Aye.
I just wish more and more people do. Well, they are. People are waking up.
I just think this will grow. I think it'll grow. I mean, I'm Andy's pal. He said, come along, you're open minded, see what you think, because he said, I think you'll be surprised. And I have been very surprised talking to these people here over this weekend.
Their commitment and their honesty.
Yeah. And the other thing, they've obviously a lot of these folks have researched themselves, able to tell me about certain scientists and this and things.
Well, the big difference is, like the folk you spoke to today, you can tell they've got off their arse and
bothered.
Yeah. But you argue with a lot of people who still believe in the globe. They don't even understand the model they believe in. They don't even know it spins at 1,000 miles an hour and blah blah blah. They're not very informed in the model they believe.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't until I started researching.
This is it, isn't it? You've got to, haven't you? Yeah. You have to look at it. You're gonna. Well, I know I'm going to have to look at it because I'm ignorant of my round so-called sphere I'm on.
Yeah, but I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about that, because we're all ignorant to some degree about something, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And it's not such a bad thing to be ignorant, as long as you're willing to
say
look.
It's bliss.
but as long as you're willing to admit that you don't know and you're willing to look and and you are, you come across as very open and willing to look.
No, I want to have it sort of concrete in my mind's eye, one way or the other, really.
Aye. But no,
it's definitely put me on the fence.
Nick, been fascinating speaking to you, and thanks very much.
Maybe coming round to the idea.
Well, the mere fact that you're in a state of questioning is brilliant, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than total acceptance without evidence.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I can't just accept now on someone say so, I'm afraid.
Well, you might come along to the next meet, maybe.
I like the people.
Yeah.
People are really nice.
Absolutely.
Round a flat aside, really nice people.
Exactly. Well, it'd be fantastic if I had a follow-up interview next time after you've done your own research.
I could see what you think. I went and researched this, blah blah. This is what I've come up. Yeah, we'll have it again.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'd like to.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Nick, man.
No worries, mate.
Great. Take care.
Will do.
I'm Debbie. I'm here today to meet new people and share experiences and give each other a bit of support and keep that hope there. Do you know, it's maybe not going to be futile all the time, forever, and aye.
And what's your impression been of the people here you met today and in the meet-up?
Just absolutely, do you know, like warmth, positivity, and just genuineness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think everybody's just echoing those words and how nice the people are and how welcoming they are.
For sure.
When and why did you get into Flat Earth?
My sister Leslie.
She's to blame, is she?
It's not a bad blame. No, she maybe 2 years or so ago, she did mention it to me, and she showed me a couple of things, and it gripped my attention at that point, and it wasn't like a totally brush for the wrong way negative experience at all. I thought, but life, so busy, I didn't ponder over it then, and I think it was January this year. Leslie didn't really talk to me about it often. She'd be excited about certain things and she would say, I'm going to tell Debbie, blah blah blah. So there was sort of discussions throughout that whole 2 years between me and my sister that kind of you know, it just kept piquing my interest. And January the penny dropped, and then it literally just hit me. It was like a bloody thunderbolt.
Was there anything in particular that just hit you, or was it a accumulation of stuff?
I sat down and watched the same video that my sister had showed me, like at the start of her journey.
All right. What was the video?
It was the flight paths of obviously passengers, airliners, emergency landing, somebody's, you know, life-threatening, and there was no way that any of that information that I was looking at could make any sense on a globe. It would be an absolutely ridiculous waste to fly a plane all those extra blooming miles as represented on the globe, or look at that. That's exactly why they landed there, because it was right on their flight path, even although they should be away over here. And it was just instant. And then on the back of that there was loads of other stuff. I went down to Leslie and I'm like, Leslie, what did you not tell me about that for? And what about this? Imagine not telling me that. Ken, and aye. So it was a real boom.
What's been really interesting for me is getting to know you both is that in my experience, people who come into Flat Earth, the last person to accept what they're saying is their family, their direct family. But yeah, that's been the opposite with you, you and...
very much so.
You and Leslie. And it's been quite heartwarming to see that it's, you know, two members of the same family backing up each other, rather than being threatened and scared by the other person. So what would you like to see happening in the next 2 years with this subject?
I want I want this community that we've formed here tonight. This represents how I want to see the world being. Do you know, our plane, do you know, say that was the total population of our plane right now out there. Just a tiny mini wee version that you and I are sitting watching, I'd be saying, yeah, that's how I want people to feel about each other.
Yeah.
Without all the mistrust and the jealousy and... Yeah.
My name's Sandy. I'm down here to watch a balloon launch. Unfortunately, the Scottish weather played its usual trump card, and it's not quite happened as yet. It's not going to happen tonight. But there's a load of people down here, and the mood's great. The weather's pish, but there's just loads of folk out here who are just popping their head in the tent saying hi, and you know, so great camaraderie.
What's been your impression then from here, meeting everybody for the first time?
It's just, I'm just feeling so much better about it all, because you find out that there's just hundreds of you know, there's loads of people out there that are just trying to do the same thing, you know, and you'd spend all day talking about the same subject, you know, and not the same subjects. So, brilliant, it's great, it's happening, you know. So
decent people as well.
Brilliant people, what a laugh, what a laugh.
It's so warm and welcoming.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say a special mention to John, who's given me a supply of people to interview, and he's working tirelessly there in the background. So.
Indeed, he's ferrying them out in royal fashion there, isn't he? Absolutely.
He doesn't even give me time to get to the toilet in between, but but no, he's been fantastic.
Indeed.
Where do you see this going in 2 years' time, or what would you like to see happen in 2 years' time?
Well, it seems to be going at a sort of growing at a rate just now. I'd like to see that carry on. I'd like to see more things happening. I just got a random text message the other day saying that there was two people arguing about it on Big Brother or something on the telly, and that's pretty mainstream, I think. So it's come along, and people are asking questions about stuff, and that's brilliant. You know, that's so warming to know that folk are actually asking questions, and it's brilliant.
And it can only grow, it can only get bigger, eh?
Aye, well, this is it. It can only, you can only speculate as to how this is all going to pan out, how it's going to play out, if you will. I don't know, but it's fun speculating as well, really. You know what I mean? I'm hearing some loads of things I need to think about. People have been saying, so it's been interesting. Thoroughly interesting.
And Laura, who's organised it, what a fantastic job she's doing as well.
Oh, brilliant! You know, brilliant.
Sorry, my dog's trying to wreck my car. Tara, stop it.
It's the light that she feels the same way about the light as I feel about the light. I hate the light. She hates the light. Sick the light. Sick it. Oh, I'll tell you anything.
So would you consider going to another one of these meets?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely love to do this again. Too, do you know what? If we go somewhere that's... you can never pick the weather, but it would just change everything if it was all outside all the time, and, you know, didn't, like we were last time, just looking out at the water and, you know, all that stuff. All good.
Might have a good day tomorrow, though.
Oh, aye, absolutely.
Action. Maybe not.
I think it must be the light.
So what's been your impression about here today and the people you've met?
It's been nice and friendly. Pretty chilled.
Almost as chilled as you are.
Nah, that would be horizontal.
I've got to explain, it's pretty late, it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, it's been a long day. And,
sleep deprivation, killer.
Absolutely, I think we both have been lacking sleep in the last few days, yes. Would you consider going to another meet?
If they could guarantee me no wind and rain.
That one's horrendous, right?
That tent was almost gone.
Yeah, not ours, by the way.
No, not the one further back, the big one.
Neighbours. What a shame, but it's secured now anyway.
I could definitely see it getting bigger. I think loads of people would be interested in this, especially if it's, you know, over the duration of a few days. They can just relax and chill.
Laura's brilliant work of organising, showing how people can come together, and I think the more people see that, the more encouraging I think it is for people to get involved and to...
It's like just going back to what we always say, you know, you experience when you go out and you're speaking to other people, you know, you didn't really get negative experiences, and if it is negative, you always take something positive away from it because you learn, you know, so... Do you know, I've never, like, walked from one end of this field to the other and heard so many different conversations or saying flat earth, and amongst them as he's walking, I mean, where does that happen?
Yeah, absolutely,
you know?
Yeah.
Happens here, but that's rare. It's sort of quite expansive because everybody's minds are, you know, at that hungry for knowledge kind of stage and sharing information, and so it can get like, oh, it's fun, and it's
almost going back to your childhood, isn't it, where you got that
relearning,
excitement, inquisitiveness.
But you're an adult, and it's like having that kind of child in you as an adult. It's quite powerful.
But I think we all should keep that. So many adults have lost that. Would you say it's been life changing for you?
What, this?
Yeah, get into this environment.
Like, I'm sure. Like, when I reflect back on it, I'll probably, you know, see maybe the things that came from it or whatever. But I think everything on this journey is life-changing, really. Even although, like, it has been wet and windy, it's no even, like, the only reason we're speaking about it now is because somebody's tent blew down. You know, nobody's complained, and I really didn't like the rain and that, but even I've just put up with it. I've actually just enjoyed listening to the rain, lying in the tent and just being, just chilling. I like that.
Getting back in touch with nature.
But what you've done now to do this, just film people over the course of the weekend, get people in, just ask them to see, you know, what they feel, what they experience, and ask their, you know, what they felt about coming out, how they discover flat earth. You can see the skepticism, so many people sceptical, they didn't want to go, and then you're saying, look, just go and just talk, and then they come out and they go, that was really nice, you know, and it was so nice, you did even more than everybody, didn't you? What are you telling me? You're telling me my whole life has been deceived by the powers that be. But I've been trained for 30 years in my profession. You can't tell me my life's been a waste of time the last 30 years. But they can think, but actually, I feel really blessed I found out now. At least I found out. At least now, I can look at my world in a different light. And actually have a laugh. And then my positive thing of it, I look around at the age group of the people and look how many old people have found out, how many young people have found out, and realise, and I said to Nick last night, I said, Nick, man, we're in the best position, man. I says, we're the older guys, you know, and I says, we're mixing with other older guys like you. Right?
I'm only 21.
In your mind, man, yeah. And it's just like refreshing for me. But you are aware of that. There can be people that will be sitting there glum for ages thinking, the last 30 years of my life, my career and everything, man. You know, I was telling people that everything was great. And, you know.
But you're presenting a positive front and say this doesn't have to be a negative experience. This could be an empowering, enlightening, invigorating experience.
That's the whole point. It is. Once you get your head over the initial finding out that it's flat, and then you start looking at all these other, and it all clicks into place. All the other conspiracies, all the other ones linking, you think, then you think it's very clever, because all they're doing is they'll throw in another one there to try and to get people off the track of the real truth, the world being flat. It's Mandela effect.
No, it wasn't fashion statements. Do you want a bit of birthday cake? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you have a bit last night?
I had a bit last night, maybe. Do you mind if I have some breakfast?
No, at all.
Give me a bit of sugar.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even though we didn't have a balloon launch, I think it was a hugely successful weekend.
Yeah, tell me about it. I think, like you say, the balloon launch was a focal thing to get here to do for everybody to look forward to, you know. And I was looking forward to it because I said to my neighbour, I said, oh, I'm going to the flat earth. I said, I'm going to launch a balloon, man. I said, we're going up under 10,000 feet. filming it without convex lenses, mate. I says, we're going to see it's flat. And he turned around and he says, oh, he says, I'd like to see that when you get it, mate. I'd like to see that. And I said, cool, mate. Well, I said, it's already online, mate. Yeah, you go on YouTube, loads of people doing it. But I said, people go, oh no, that's like edited and everything else. But it would have been really cool, but another day. Right. It's not the last one, is it?
No, absolutely not.
Nick made me laugh last night because he said to me last night, he said, do you know the worst thing about it now, Andy? I said, I know what you're going to say, Nick. He said, we're going to go back. We're going to see our mates, all our musician friends, right? And he says, they've been taking the piss out of you because you've been saying the world's flat, right? He says, now it's my turn. And I says, I don't know. I said, Nick, I'll say, Nick, do you think the world's flat, Nick? And then when you say yes, all our mates were going at you, and I've been laughing my head off saying, it's not me anymore. I says, Nick, man, lost his head. He come away for a weekend with me now, thinks the world's flat.